Are there days where you're just not motivated? Bob, I need some motivation here. So motivation is something that we all need. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that I do personally to stay motivated every single day to do what I do. You good, Bob? Let's get the show on the road. So I can't really speak on what others do, but I'm going to give you things that I do personally because I know they work for me every single time. Okay, like 99% of the time, but they work. And I realized that motivation, how do I say this? Not all motivation works, but there is a huge reason behind why some motivation works and why some doesn't. And it has nothing to do with the actual technique of how to stay motivated. And this is something that I have also experienced in the past because I had a job and I tried to stay motivated, and no matter what I did, nothing worked. So the first way I personally get motivated is I remember back to why I wanted to do this. So when I sold homes, and I would have days where I just needed motivation, I would think back to the moment why I wanted to become a real estate agent. When you think back to that moment, envision yourself right now, put yourself back in that moment and ask yourself, why did I want to be a real estate agent? If you've got good positive thoughts and feelings, when you're feeling those things, you're gonna naturally become motivated because you're gonna go back to that moment. Your brain is a powerful thing and it can make you do some wacky things. And I'm sure you already know that. So feel those feelings. Remember back to that moment when you decided to be an agent and think of the why. Why did you want to do that? And just thinking about the why should give you positive feelings and it should motivate you. But here's what I found, and this is the interesting part, and this is probably the most important part of this entire video. There are 2 different reasons why you could have wanted to be an agent. Well, I can't say 2 different reasons. You can categorize them into 2 different groups. One group is, I got laid off and I thought, why not? Or maybe you just didn't know what else to do. Maybe you were bored. Why not? I'll get my real estate license. This one's a personal favorite of mine. I like homes. Liking homes has nothing to do with actually being a real estate agent. It's fine if you do like homes, but if that's your sole reason why you became an agent, you may be finding this job difficult for the most part, unless you liked homes, but you got into this job, you didn't really know what it was. I keep calling it a job. It's not even a career, it's a business. You're running a business. When you got into this business because you liked homes, but then you found yourself really enjoying it more, that's great. That's good news because at least you know that you like doing this as a job, career, business, whatever you want to call it. Having nothing better to do is not a reason to get into this business. Or I was bored, or I didn't want to retire, or I got laid off. And I can tell you right now, no amount of motivation is going to help you. Why? Because you don't have a big enough why. Maybe, and don't take this the wrong way, maybe you shouldn't even be in this business. Truthfully, if you think about it, I'm not trying to be rude or mean, but really think about it. If you wake up every single morning and you need a kick in the butt or motivation because you don't really enjoy this business, maybe you just shouldn't be in this business. Does that make sense? The second reason why you could have got into this job is because maybe you saw what other agents were doing and you thought, yeah, I would love to do that. I see that they are running a business. I see that they are working 8 days a week, 400 hours a day. Like if you knew the reality and that drew you to that business, then that's good news because now motivation techniques can and will help you because you have a love for this business. You have a passion for this business. You're excited about this business. You just maybe need a little bit of motivation. Does that make sense? On one hand, no amount of motivation is going to help you because you just don't like this business. And on the other hand, maybe you just need some motivation to get you going because you actually love this business. So that's the first point I wanted to bring up. Remember back to why you wanted to get into this business. If your why is big enough, you will naturally start to feel motivated. Second way I get motivated is to envision myself in the future. Envision myself as if I'm already there, as if I'm already successful, as if I'm already living the life that I am creating. We're all climbing a mountain, a huge mountain. And this year I started a new business. Well, the mountain, let's say it starts here and it goes to here, I'm like right here. So when you look up at a mountain and you think, OMG, I gotta climb that thing, you know that your motivation level can go down. But what I know that works for me, every day I wake up envisioning that I am already a huge success in this business. I envision myself speaking on stages in front of 5,000, 10,000 people because I live from the top of that mountain. I envision that every day. It's like not the law of attraction, but you know the movie The Secret, where they kind of envisioned already doing something or having something. It kind of reminds me of that. So if you have seen The Secret, it's kind of that principle. There are two different ways you can look at this big mountain that I just described. You can either look at yourself from the base looking up, or envision yourself grabbing an elastic band and wrapping one end around the top of the mountain. And what happens is you stretch that elastic band to the bottom, you hook yourself onto it, pretend you're like a little person this big, right? You attach yourself to that and it naturally pulls you up. When you're living from the top, your motivation is high and you naturally gravitate. And when you have that momentum going, even in your head, the motivation stays high. But when you're thinking from down here, it's almost as if you're attaching one end of the elastic band to the base and you're stretching it to the top and wow, look how far I have to go. And so when you're coming from the point of negative, look how far I have to go. When you naturally stretch that elastic band, it wants to slide back down. And every time you feel like you're going backwards or you have a huge mountain to climb, your motivation level will come down. Does that make sense? Envision yourself already being successful. I know it helps me out tremendously. Third thing that really helps me out is changing my physiology. Sometimes we get stuck in a rut where we're physically or emotionally in the same spot. I either go to the gym because I know that when you change your physiology, everything else changes. If you stand tall and you have that Superman pose and you have this big grin on your face and physically, let's say you're acting happy, it's almost impossible for you to be negative. Because whatever you do with your physical body, when you change your physiology for the positive, your mind will follow. So when you do something like go to the gym or go for a walk or even get in your car and go for a drive. I love getting into my car and just going for a drive out into the country where there is no traffic, no stoplights, no humans. It's just fields. That energizes me and it brings up my motivation level. That works for me because I changed my physiology. Other ways that I also change my physiology is when I listen to music. Because naturally, when I listen to music I love, I naturally start bopping my head and I have these ideas flowing through my mind. And that naturally motivates me. It pulls me away from the everyday grind and it just changes my state. Because I change my physiology. I'm almost like dancing around. I know it's awkward, right? But who cares? That's just what I do. Or I listen to an audiobook and that changes my state and it always naturally brings up my motivation level. It's a pattern interrupt. So those really are the things that work for me. The number one is the most important. Remember why you got into this business. And if you're in this business for the wrong reasons, number two and number three won't help you. If your why is big enough, the number 2 will work. Envision yourself at the finish line as if you're already successful. And number 3 as well, change your physiology. Go for a walk, go for a run. If you wake up every morning and you hate being an agent because you hate what you're doing, but you know you have to do them, I don't think anything can really help you unless somebody put a gun to your head and said, do it or else. You don't need motivation, you just need a new career. If you have love for this business, if you have passion for this business, then it's easier to be motivated, obviously. If there's something that you do that I haven't covered, because I'm sure there are many ways that you can stay motivated, I'd love to hear your comments. Put them down below this video. One more thing, do you think you could be motivated enough to click like on this video, maybe subscribe to this channel? Oh, don't forget to hit the bell button, and we'll chat tomorrow. Take care.